Are you an agent wondering how in the world to lead generate in these crazy times that we're in? Listings are king, but so is your sphere. And if you don't have a sphere, how can you get those referrals? Well, you're about to meet a good friend of mine, John LeRoy, in Detroit, Michigan. That's the Motor City. And guess what? He's launching a new company called Relay, REALAY.com. And you're going to find out in about 2 minutes and 2 seconds how the new lead generation source is going to change your business. Coming up next on Cliff's Notes.
Real estate agents, are you struggling with the day-to-day grind, dialing for dollars, putting in hours of floor time with little to show for it? Are you looking for tips, tricks, and tactics to accelerate your career as an agent that will have you closing more homes, working with more clients, and earning more money than ever before? Hi, my name's Cliff Freeman, and I've spent the past 2 decades of my real estate career running one of the top brokerages in DFW and personally coaching over 1,000 high-performing real estate professionals across North America. I created this podcast to share the strategies and tactics you need to explode your real estate business. I guarantee it.
All right, we're going to double down on guarantees today, man.
It's going to be a fun one.
This is going to be awesome. If you're watching, if you're just tuning in, we've got a gentleman on our show today who has developed this incredible platform to get you great referrals and to do it over and over again. It's like having an oil well in your front yard. Let's go ahead, C3, and bring on John LeRoy, all the way from the Motor City, Detroit, Michigan. And is it Michigan or Michigan State? What do we like up there, John?
I am going to be indifferent, Cliff. I went to neither school. They're both pretty darn good. But I'm going to be neutral here and just say it's great to be talking to you from Michigan down to the Big D. So from Detroit to Dallas, it's going to be a great show. Thanks for having me on board.
Well, we're excited to have you here. We've got some great news to share with our audience today. And, let's just start with a little bit about John and give us a little idea of how in the world you got to this place in the real estate business where you have this incredible vision that I think a lot of people wish they had come up with. And how are you executing? Tell us a little about your story, John.
Thank you, Cliff. At the end of the day, my background is really all based in healthcare. I would tell you I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've started a number of different companies, mostly in the healthcare space, and had all positive exits on all of them. But the way this occurred is I was supposed to be retired and enjoying, learning to golf and trying to chase that scratch handicap like C3 there. My daughter became a real estate agent. My wife was a real estate agent. And I was watching what they were doing. And I have a lot of friends in the real estate space, Cliff. I also have a number of different properties that I've acquired across the nation and vacation properties. And so at the end of the day, I noticed that when somebody's looking to find an agent or relocate or move, or they have a need to sell a property outside of their market, and I was witnessing how people operate, these people being my daughter, my friends that are agents, or my wife, I said to myself, this is a waste of time. This is outdated. Technology can make the process of sending a client to another agent easier, more effective. And that was the genesis of Relay. And then when I looked at my career and what I've done, I'm very big into metrics, measuring outcomes, impact, having goals. And I know most successful agents, they have goals. You're always looking to be better. You're always looking to get better information. But if you don't have a plan and if you don't have a goal, you're never going to get there. And so what Relay wants to do and what Relay is doing is it's providing a dashboard. And that dashboard is giving visibility and transparency to every agent that uses the platform so that they can see, how is my client doing that I referred from Detroit to Dallas? Are they progressing through the sales process? We all know at this stage of our life, there's a process to most things. And real estate's no different than anything else when it comes to selling. So the common problem is you need to find an agent that you can trust that will take care of your client. I witnessed that with my friends and family. And then on top of that, the problem is then they go into a black hole and you're wondering, when am I going to get paid, or what happened to that? What happened to that person? So we're like, let's just take the mystery out of here. Let's make it transparent. Let's put dashboards out there, and let's give something to agents that are going to help agents. And at the end of the day, really, it's going to help their clients improve their experience as well. So we felt it was a no-brainer, Cliff. And it's been received with so much enthusiasm. And it's one of those aha moments where people are, pretty much responding, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of this? This is so needed. This is so obvious. And it's been a similar journey with my other ideas in the past, Cliff, where when you have that type of response from people, there's a need, you're solving a problem. So that kind of a long way is how we got to where we are right now.
I love what you've done, because I think that, number one, the real estate industry is not leading the pack. We're some of the slowest adopters that there are. Most individual agents don't run their real estate business like a business. They run it like a job. And they don't invest in technology. I just finished reading a book, and actually I presented at the Build conference in San Antonio just Tuesday this week. And the book that I really, really think, and this is directly out of there about dashboards, is called The Road Less Stupid. And one of the premises in there was that dashboards don't lie, okay, number one. And as a business owner, you don't need more data. You really don't need a whole lot more information. What you need is knowledge. And that's exactly what a dashboard provides. In fact, C3 and I are headed this afternoon to San Diego to go to a top team mastermind. And I'm sure we actually had a custom dashboard made for our team to show the pipeline and so forth. And for you to have the insight, right, to be able to create a referral system like you have that has that type of accountability and reporting, to me, is just hands down going to be a huge success, because, as you said, we get so much slippage whenever you pass a referral off to someone else. Frankly, it's the same thing when you pass it over to a mortgage loan officer for a pre-approval. A lot of times they'll drop the ball, but I am so excited about what you guys have come up with. It's going to be a game changer. So talk a little bit about, if you would, John, is this something that it's built for large teams? Is it built for individual agents? Who's your avatar? Who's your best client?
Our best client is an agent. And this is a platform that's broker agnostic. In order for this to really have its full impact in the marketplace and really help agents that are working to relay a client to another area, it needs to be broker agnostic. There are a lot of agencies out there that aren't part of a large broker. There's a lot of independents in the marketplace. And so for those independents, or for somebody else that is with for those independents or somebody that's with a large firm, it doesn't matter who you are, if you're on a large team or if you're with an independent. If you have somebody that's relocating outside of your market or needs to buy or sell outside of your market, any agent can use our application, the Relay application, and it's no charge to that agent, the referring agent.
Okay. So are you in a position where you can talk about how you guys make money and how,
Sure.
how the referral fees get determined and so forth?
Yeah, there's no secret. And one thing that's really important for our business and our philosophy is to keep things simple and be transparent. So, Cliff, it's a great question. I'm glad you asked. The way Relay is going to monetize a platform out of the gate is to have a share in the success rate with the network agents that receive the referrals. So, any agent that uses the platform that places a client in the platform and then relays that client to another agent outside of their MSA, that referring agent or that originating agent, they want their success fee, they want the referral fee. They're always going to get their 25%. So the front end agent will get 25%. Relay will earn 5% of the commission. So the agent, the Relay network agent, the agent that is going to receive that referral, you in Dallas, you're going to agree to a commission share, or you have agreed to a commission share of 30%. But we're sending to you highly qualified, ready, willing, and able clients that are going to be highly convertible. We, from all of our modeling, are expecting well over a 60% conversion rate, well over 60%. That's conservative. Of the clients or referrals that we send to you, Cliff, and your team, as being a network agent of the Relay platform. So that's how it will work. That's how we're going to monetize it. So our take is a 5% success fee of the commission on your side.
That's great.
Does
Yeah, I
that
think
make sense?
that's a great plan. I mean, it's a win-win. Everybody wins. You don't if the deal doesn't get done, you just take the hit and go on and go to the next one.
Right.
So what are there? Do you have a bar? Do you not a? I mean, do you have a margarita machine? No, I'm just kidding.
Floor
Do you
or
have
ceiling,
right? Yeah. Do you have a expectations or certain minimum standards for agents that are going to join your platform?
We do, and I'm not going to list, A, B, C, D, and E necessarily, and put it out on the table or out in the media right now. But we do have certain criteria that we look for, and the information that we're seeking to build our network agents is extracted from a lot of the information that's available on the internet. Okay, how successful is your team, or how successful are you, Cliff? How many sides have you been a part of, and as a seller and as a buyer's agent and the selling agent? And so there's a lot of content out there. We have more information than we need, and you spoke about that at the beginning when you were talking about dashboards. What we're doing is we're distilling down the information, and then at Relay, we are talking to the people that we want to invite into our network. And once we have the information that distills down the individual that we would like to have in our network, we reach out to that individual and we look to make a connection with them. And boy, I'm telling you, at that point on, that's where we really get the good data. Do they return your phone call? Do they return the email? Are they on time? All of the little intrinsic things that matter to you as a buyer or a seller, as a client, is quickly displayed when we engage with agents across the nation, and regardless of what logo they have on their shirt. And so the number one, I'll tell you, the number one criteria is great customer service, is responsiveness. And so all of the things that you would want as a buyer or as a seller, We know what those are, and that's what we're looking for as we engage and talk with various teams or agents across the nation. And then from there, we use that to move through the onboarding process. And we set our network agents up based off of their success, which is where do they want to operate. We don't want to stretch them into markets that they're not comfortable with, that they don't know well, that they don't have the connections, that they don't know the handyman in the area, that's a little too far for them to drive. Um, we want you to be excited to engage in our clients that we're going to send in your direction. And we're going to want you to be comfortable and not stretch to the edge of your limits. So a lot of different things are going into it. And if you allow me a second longer, Cliff, I think the other piece that's really important to understand about the platform is that it truly is a one-to-one connection. So when that client is put into our platform by any agent and they are sending that client to a market outside of their area, the relay network agent gets that client. That pass off, that passing of a baton, if you will, like in a relay race, it's one-to-one. That client's not going to get introduced to 3 or 4 or 5 different agents that now have to arm wrestle and fight to win that one client over. And there's other, programs similar to what we do, but we really do believe in our heart of hearts that we've, looked at what's out there and are creating a product that's going to be the best for the customer and also important to the agent. And if we can do that, we're going to be successful and all boats rise.
More, yeah. There's no question. What gets reported improves, and what gets reported publicly improves exponentially. So that's why I just love the whole dashboard idea. Let me ask you kind of a more specific question about how it would work. Say, for example, on my team, I have 109 agents here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Would you put those agents on individually? Would it be with the team? Because I would, if agents can lead generate on their own, I would really be excited for them, to be able to be a part of this, not just, getting the leads through the team. So how would that work? Would that be an option?
Absolutely. It's going to go both ways, Cliff. You're spot on. So your group is a network agent to our platform. And when somebody's going to move to Dallas, it's going to be directed to you through the way and the manner in which we onboard your team with your operation managers, and that referral gets immediate attention and gets responded to, so that the other agent knows that, yeah, I've got this, I've got the referral, and I've made a contact with that buyer, and we're good to go. That handoff has been done. And so the communication is robust in that regard through emails, through updating the dashboard, and most importantly, from your engagement with that client. But at that point in time, Cliff, you're going to triage that client to your seasoned agents that are on your team. You're not going to take this ready to move buyer that's ready to go and give it to somebody that just joined your team and is cutting your teeth at becoming a real estate agent. So there's the receiving of the referral, and then you've got 109 agents that every day are engaging with people in their community, and have people that are relocating from Detroit to Dallas, or from Detroit to Vegas, or from Dallas to, Seattle, Washington, or they have, a family member that needs to sell a property up north because they were renting it out. There are so many daily scenarios that your 109 agents are going to be exposed to, and they can all use a platform. It doesn't cost them a single dollar to send a referral outside of your metropolitan service area to another relay network agent. And you, as a leader, you can see the activity of all of your agents. So you'll have a view as a leader, a team leader, and you'll have 109 agents below you. But you'll have all of their referrals will roll up to your dashboard. But every single agent will have their own dashboard that applies to them and the referrals they've sent out, because they're going to be the ones sending out the referrals. So they'll be able to see the progress and be able to track, more importantly, how much money they may make and when they may make it, based off of when all of a sudden a referral is under contract and going to close. So the reporting in the dashboard is what I call the stickiness to technology. Your software has to have a reason to engage people. It has to have value. And we believe the dashboards provide the value and what I call the tackiness or the stickiness to the platform.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You mentioned earlier, I think I heard you correctly, that your expected conversion rate was around 60%. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, you did, which
Okay.
would be out of bounds in the marketplace.
Yeah.
When you look at the other lead gen that you're engaged with and that you acquire and that you have your team work. So these are buyers that are ready, willing, and able to move. They have a need to move. They have a need for a second home. They have a job that's calling them to move into a different marketplace, or they have a home that's now available because maybe there was a death in the family and they need to get that home under contract in an area that's not in their backyard. So these are motivated, I'll call clients. I don't think it's right to call them a referral. They're a client or an individual that has a property that's been vetted already by another agent.
Kind of wonder where we lose traction with these referrals. Do you have a thought about that 40% that doesn't make it to a deal? What happens? Is it just natural attrition? Is it not a good match between the agent and the buyer? Just any thoughts on where that may be coming from?
We've done some modeling, Cliff, and so our numbers are based off of the modeling and a significant amount of conversations and examples and that we've done through our modeling. When we say 60% conversion rate, that would be the top conversion rate of probably any team in the nation with a product that they're using. So we don't really have to say that the conversion rate is going to be 70, 80, 85, 92. We don't need to necessarily play our hand there and overpromise and underdeliver. What we're going to do is we're going to underdeliver and we're going to overpromise. Well, that's not right, is it? I think that's backwards.
Don't worry, I've done that before too. It happens in the best families, John. Don't worry. Yeah. So,
but where the gap is, I think you're saying is where's the gap? Where's the leakage, right? And you have situations where somebody is expecting to move because of a job, and they maybe change their mind, or they decide not to follow through with that job, or they're considering a second home. And you know what? They determine because of some life events, now might not be the best time for that vacation property or that second home. So it's more life events, Cliff, than it is, I would say, lack of execution, if that makes sense.
well, you say there's no fees. Is now there? If you wanted to apply, you have a small fee for that, right? That's a $75 application fee. But other than the referral fees, there's no monthly fee or anything for like a technology fee or some BS, whatever fee that people, try to, like the airlines, charge you for bags and stuff like that.
You're right. There is no additional fees. There's no nibbling. There is no additional fees, Cliff. We want to make this a robust platform, obviously, that people want to use, and we don't want to give them any reasons or excuses or put any barriers or hinder them in any way whatsoever to utilize the benefits of what this is going to provide clients and agents. So no cost for an agent, and that agent's going to be able to track the progress of their client as they move through the sales process. They're not going to have to hunt down the agent that they referred the client to, and they're going to see transparently how that client is progressing. And then ultimately they're going to get their 25%, which is, hallelujah. That's huge. And then for the back end network agents, Cliff, you did touch on something. We're building this network on an exclusive invite only basis. Okay. And we're having conversations today now about the build out of that network. So if you're not right now a network agent of Relay, I strongly recommend you to express your desire to become one and go to relay.com and apply to be a network agent. So it's REALAY.com. And if you go to our website right now, you'll see the ability to apply to be a network agent. You're right, there is a fee. There's a fee of $75. And it's there on purpose. It's not going to change the way we live our life or the outcome of our company. But it's another one of those little tiny filters, Cliff, that if you're not willing to invest $75 to be a network agent today, shame on you. Because you're missing out on the ability to get great quality referrals. But we don't want people coming in the platform, as an example, that doesn't want to buy their client a cup of coffee when they're out working with them. So this is a cup of coffee, and effective the end of the month, probably about the 19th or the 20th of July, we're going to up that initiation or onboarding or application fee, whatever you want to call it, to $150. We'll be launching the Relay platform shortly thereafter between the 20th and August 1st. So, now's the time to get in. And after July 20th or 19th, it will probably go up to $150. But that's it, Cliff. So there's no additional nibbling. It's all about having success with the clients and with our member agents.
Well, this is very timely. I mean, You're actually going to have this thing to market. Can you give us a little hint or maybe just kind of some idea as to the size of the organization at this point? I mean, we talking hundreds of agents, or what in your mind would be the perfect number of agents to have on the network? I guess that's probably a better question.
It's a great question. And we have a model. I would tell you probably 2,000 agents across the nation is probably the sweet spot number right now. We're not at 2,000. We're less than 2,000, but that's okay. We have great network agents on board, great charter member agents on board, and they're doing a great job for us already, even trying to connect us with other great agents that they know. I talked to Andy O'Shea in Seattle, Washington yesterday, and we probably spoke for 2 weeks, nonstop. He's with Keller Williams in the Seattle market, and I want to build a team of Andy O'Shea's. Service is important. He couldn't stress enough how involved he gets when he has a client that he's looking to send outside of his network, somebody that's in his family, somebody that he's related to, somebody that's done business with for 30 years. He wants to make sure that when that client goes to Dallas, another Andy O'Shea is going to be there to receive that client. He doesn't know it's Cliff Freeman, but we're happy to tell him it's Cliff Freeman. So the network is building, and it's building not with quantity, but with quality. And a lot of people also ask, well, I don't have a big team. Could I be a network agent? You can be a team of one. You can have your own brokerage. If you check our boxes that we view as being critical to being a great agent, an elite agent in your market to service your clients, we'd love to have you on board. If bigger does not always mean better. But there's a lot of great agents that are part of big teams, and there's a lot of great agents that are, a husband and wife group. So I think that kind of, gives a little background of, the fees and what we're doing.
So I know some agents are going to ask this question. I'm just going to ask it. Is that 25%, is that set in stone? Or, if it's a slam dunk, my wife and I are moving down to Texas and, we're brokers, but we'd like your help because we don't know the area, but it's a 50% referral fee that we're going to pay you. Is that legit? Or, do they have to stay at 25 or is that negotiable?
No, it's set up. It's 25%. So every network agent is engaging or signing, executing an agreement with our company that indicates that, here's the terms. It's pretty simple. The originating agent and their broker as well, right? So the brokers, of course, are all part of this, but the originating agent is going to get 25%, period. There's no bickering about 19% or 23% or 20. It's 25%, and that's fair. Relay, 5%. You share 30%. End of story. Whether it's a $1.5 million house, a $300,000 house, whether it's I need to be there in a week, or those are the terms, if you will.
Then what if they say, for example, they get down there and there's a subsequent transaction that occurs? Maybe they buy an investment property or something like that. Is your fee just a one-time fee, or are you involved in those additional transactions down the road?
Yeah, that's a good point, Cliff. It would be nice to be involved in those, right? So, but the reality is that's not how we're set up. That's not what we're trying to do. You get that client, you help them buy their house, and now they want to buy a couple other condos in the area or investment properties. They're your client, they're your customer, and you do business with that customer just as you would in any other circumstance, right? So, what we're doing is we're taking, the paper that people fill out to send a referral and eliminating the paper, eliminating the messiness and the time suck it takes in this area. And we're making it more efficient. We're making it more trackable, more visible, and easier for all parties involved. But beyond that, it's business as usual. People work with people that they like. And if they like working with you, they're going to buy 3 or 4 more properties or refer their friends. We're out of the picture.
And I'm just thinking, just from a practical standpoint here, like in Texas, if it's a referral, then after closing, the broker that is responsible for the deal sends a check to the referring agent, right? So you guys are getting paid. Who is it that actually writes your check? Would it be the buyer's broker? Does that make sense? Is that correct? The buyer's broker? So you don't get paid at closing. You'll wait after it closes funds, and then the buyer's broker will send you a check, or however you take payment.
That's right.
Okay,
Yep,
perfect.
that's right.
Perfect.
So the buyer's broker will wire us our 5%. At closing, you will, or the title company, whoever does the closing, will then send the 25% to the originating agent, or to their broker.
I have to ask this question because I'm a coach at heart, right? Are you going to have any? This is really important. Are you going to have any training available for agents who have not done a lot of referrals on how to work with the other agent and how to work with the client? Isn't that a good question, isn't it? I think you like that question, John?
Cliff, that is a good question.
Yeah.
There's so many coaches in the space. we want to leverage what's in the marketplace, but we also want to augment it and help where we can. So the what we want to do is we want to help agents maybe listen a little better to what's going on around them and pay attention for those opportunities where there's a chance to make some, I'll call it passive income, right? To improve their GCI, but it's done by taking 1 minute and putting somebody in the relay platform and hitting send, and somebody else is going to take care of that person. Agents are always looking for where can I put my flag today? Where can I put my sign in the ground here in my marketplace today? Rock and roll, you got to do that. And you got to keep doing that. And you have to keep marketing yourself. But if you listen more and talk less, you're going to find out that there's a crazy amount of people that you're going to come across with on a daily basis, where their family members or their friends or people they know are at a stage in their life when there's a move involved. And that's what we hope to train and coach and bring an awareness to for agents. And it'll be funny as you go forward, you and C3, you're going to think of something in the next week. It's like, oh my gosh, here's a chance where I can use Relay. And I know you'll send me a text and say it happened. When's this platform going to be ready? And so it's going to be really cool.
Sure.
Now, and again, just to be clear, you guys aren't involved with any mortgage company. You guys aren't attempting to get a mortgage, get them pre-approved or anything like that, right? It's all, yours is simply just facilitating the transaction through technology and the dashboard, and then obviously the network of agents, correct?
That's it. You're right.
Okay.
So it's that passing the baton from one agent with their client to another agent. We're that bridge. We're that bridge. Now, has it come up and have other people approached us and wanted to know if they can somehow hook their wagon to what we're doing? Yes, but we need to do the crawl, walk, run. Let's get this baby, working where agents are using the platform to go back and forth for the intended purpose of this product. 2 years from now, I'll hop back on the show and maybe share something different.
There's so much value in being able to track that transaction and know, especially if you don't have connections in the target area, knowing with confidence that agent has been vetted and they're a good egg, and they're going to take care of that referral. Yeah. Were you going to ask a question?
Yeah, I got a couple of questions.
Okay.
Excuse me. Yeah, so you were talking about the number of referral or network partners you would like to have just in general around the U.S. Can you talk about, is there a cap on like a major market for the number of agents that you're going to bring in per market? So say, for instance, you talked about this guy up in Seattle. Is he going to be that sole agent for that market, or are you going to expand with others in markets like that?
Yeah, I'm so glad you asked the question. It's a fantastic question. As we launch and deploy into the market, based on the size of that market and based on the volume that starts to go across our platform, we're most likely going to need more agents in large metropolitan service areas to handle the volume that's going to come across the platform. But it's not just volume dependent, C3, and that's something that is important. This product is broker agnostic, but at the same time, we're acutely aware that, I'll use an example, a Keller Williams agent would like to refer their client from Boston to a Keller Williams agent in Phoenix, Arizona, or Atlanta, Georgia. So the way the platform is built is we're offering the users at the front end when they're putting their client into the platform to indicate, do you want to keep your client within your brand? You have that. You should be empowered. It's your referral. It's your client, and you're wearing the jersey, every day. So that is a filter that is going to be available on the platform, so that if you're sending somebody from Dallas to Seattle, you may want it to stay in the EXP family. And so you're gonna indicate that when you put that client in the dashboard or in the platform. So to your point, C3, it's important for us to have independent agents in Seattle, Coldwell Banker agents in Seattle, EXP agents in Seattle, Keller Williams agents in Seattle, right? So if you decide that you want it to stay in the family, we have somebody that's there ready to catch and receive that client based off of the agent's desires and wishes as well. If you really just want Relay to pick who has the best metrics or the highest rating in our platform in Seattle, you can do that as well, and then it will be sent to that agent based off of the data.
The agent, you're saying essentially when an agent comes on, they're going to have a profile with ratings based off of a conversion rate, or how does say I want to go pick an agent out in Boston. How can I go pick the best one that's going to fit the need for my client, right? If you have, 4 or 5 different ones, obviously I'm going to try to go with the one for the brokerage that I'm referring it to, the same one. But like, how am I going to go, why would I want to pick this person over the other person? Is there a rating system? Is there a review section? Are you going to have websites on there?
Well, and who makes the call? Is it John? Do you guys make the call on who the lead goes to, or
Right.
or does the listing agent or the referring agent get to make the call on who it goes to?
A great question. Again, I'm glad this is really vetting out some things. I'll tell you, we make the call. The platform makes the call. Okay, so there's too much information. I don't want to be told, and the people we've talked with, we don't want to be given 3 or 5 people and then have to figure out. Again, I'm back in the spot where I don't know these people. I don't want to take the time to get to know these people. They don't return my calls, or they do return my calls, but how do I pick between them? What the Relay platform is designed to do, and it's a leap of trust, I get that. But what the Relay platform's designed to do, C3, is we are going to pick the buyer for that client, or we're going to pick the agent, for that client in Boston that you're sending in that direction. Now, you'll have the choice to say, I want it to stay within this brand. And then if that's the case, it will go to the broker in that zip code that's with that brand.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Those are great. Yeah.
It's kind of clicking for me on the leads portion of what Relay does and how that works, and because it's really essentially a round robin to the agents that are in the network based off of what Relay deems to be the best agent for that.
Yeah, they're doing the homework.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, because they'll know a lot more about the agent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're also, you guys are keeping the metrics, the history on the agent, so you know who's doing the job and who's not.
Right.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Exactly. And then in version, not 2.5, but in version maybe Relay 1.1, shortly after we launched the application, and there's the ability to have a little bit of the delay, we will ask the client to rate their experience with the agent on a scale of 1 to 5. So we'll start being able to process some data on, we've really worked very hard to build our network. But if there's agents that aren't receiving that client, having positive outcomes with their clients, that feedback loop's going to be important as well. And we'll have that type of information, in our platform.
Similar to like an NPS for an agent.
I can see AI coming into this at some point.
Most definitely.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
helping streamline some of the.
Well, John, this is
processes,
super
yeah.
exciting, man. C3 and I are just, chewing our arms off to wait for you to get this launched. We've got a lot of agents who are excited about, being able to get good quality referrals at a good, fair price. And I think the model that you've built is, it's a win for everybody, like you said. And I'm especially enamored with, the visibility into the transaction, the dashboard, and so forth. So I think you're going to have a real winner on your hands here. Just one more time, if somebody did want to apply, what's the best place to go to apply as a network agent, John?
Cliff, it's real simple. Go to Relay. So it's REAL, like real estate. So go to relay.com, REALAY.com. And you'll see as soon as you get to the site, you'll see apply now. Apply now. We'll ask you a few questions. You'll make your payment, hit send, and we'll take it from there. We'll reach out to you and begin our process.
Well, that's fantastic. Wonderful. Yeah, very,
very
good.
Informational today.
I'm telling you, a lot of great stuff here, huh?
Yeah, it's important.
No question about it. John, thank you so much. I know it's a long way to get here from Detroit, but we appreciate you making the trip, even though it was via some wires and some Wi-Fi. But it's great to see you in person, and we're excited to see you. I think you said you might be at EXPCon and Inman in Vegas coming up, so we'll try to catch you at least one of those.
Yep, exactly. Good. Thank you, Cliff and C3. Thank you for this opportunity. It's been a pleasure. And from Detroit to Dallas, we're very grateful for what you're doing.
Yep. Well, we're grateful for what you're doing as well. Thank you,
yes, sir.
John.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll make sure we get the announcement out when he goes live, man. But
might have to do some pre-marketing for that. So
something. This is
we've got a early bird special on the application.
Something.
Fee.
Yeah, I don't know. This is a big big deal, and that's something you definitely want to be
Excited
a part
to
of.
Push it to our audience.
Yeah. We have been on the road here the last few days. You were in Cabo, and then we both met in San Antonio for the Build conference. And by the way, that was a smoking hot conference. Well, you got to look at the videos if you didn't make it. But I guess the new brand here, right, is it's grind season, homie. And if you didn't get one of our T-shirts, then you're going to have to IM us or DM us. We'll see if we might have a few left. I think we're going to have to go back to the printers there.
Do another set.
Do another set of T-shirts, yes. But those of you who were there, it was great to see you. And speaking of seeing you, we'll be back next week with another live episode of Cliff's Notes. You guys take care, and we'll talk to you next week right here on Cliff's Notes.
So tune in every Thursday where we'll give you the tips, tricks, and tactics to explode your business.